lately we've been deciding to go out really early in the morning like that because we managed to get back on shore, you know, by 10 in the morning. So this was going to be a pretty easy dive. We wanted to just get some fish. Our fridge were empty, so I've been looking under all these ledges since grouper season opened. Obviously it's expecting too much, but I got to see a nurse shark and a couple lobsters. This is something else that, you know, I want to talk about. Most of these dives I do are beach dives. Obviously that's why I don't give out my spots or try my best to show, you know, no shoreline. This was a nice first shot of the day. Ended up seeing the Spanish swimming. That's usually the technique that works for me. You know, a Spanish, unless it comes right by you, you chase it, it turns sideways. I've been having a lot of instances where the Spanish were really skittish, and they actually end up swimming even faster away rather than turning sideways how they usually would. So I'm having to readjust my thinking process and use my flashers more strategically to draw them in rather than wait for them to turn broadside. And these snappers right there, those schoolmaster snappers, they are amazing on the grill. At the end of this video, I'm going to briefly kind of run through the marinade I use for the snapper. It's super simple, super clean, and you get that nice charcoal taste on the grill. And I also have a really easy Asian style fish wing recipe. You can't go on a beach dive without at least getting one yellow jack. I ended up looking for the largest one in the school, and I got a decent shot on him, so, you know, he was at least fine. So, as I was saying earlier about mini season in July, it's really not a good time to go beach diving, and I'm hoping whoever's watching this, you guys don't have the idea, you know, to go off the beach to far off spots you got. It's kook season. Literally, people who shouldn't even be on a boat are driving boats like crazy. They're going spot to spot, they're drinking. So it's really not safe to be out there. People get run over all the time.
Small, but they're still hogs.
Now this hog was probably legal, but I don't usually shoot those hogs because I like to save my one hog limit for larger ones that I happen to see later on. Now the chance with waiting on a hog is that I also might not get a hog by the end of the day. So a different mentality, so you can hold out for larger fish, or you can take the one you see in front of you and not get that larger fish later on. So right there, that's a technique I learned when I was about 12 years old. Is, you know, a Spanish, that was my fault, he wasn't within range, but a Spanish usually will get curious if something is after it, and it wants to see if it's still there, or it wants to kind of gauge what it is. So it'll briefly turn to the side, and if you've seen my other videos, you can see that same habit. Even in that tournament one, the Jack Kearns one in Miami, the Spanish turns sideways to take a glance at you, and that's the chance you get to shoot. Right here, my buddy shot a barracuda, which destroyed his gun. His shaft, you know, it just took it. So pretty much,
Alright, let's go find the barracuda.
just getting to the end of our dive trip. He doesn't have a shaft. I'm the only one with a gun. So this is kind of showing the ups and the downs for beach dives. You know, whatever you bring with you is what you've got out there. So like I said earlier, I usually like to hold out for hogfish, but my buddy didn't have, you know, his gun, and you know, we just saw this hog. It was legal, and it was about the same size, or a little larger than the one earlier. Now I'm in no rush, so I try and get a side shot to at least get a decent hit on it. There you go. And even if he had his gun, he would still be helping me out like this. We always help each other out like this when it comes to it.
Stay side by side. I'll spot the fish. You go shoot him.
You know, communication is always the best. You know, if one of your buddies shoots a fish and you're not around, it's likely there's other fish around, and he's not gonna get a second shot, and you know you can't get it. So. Well, I guess this is the barbecue time.
Alright, so it's raining a little bit, so I'll have to do this out here. Get started.
Pretty much the whole reason that the fish recipe I'm going to be saying tastes so good is because of, is partially due to the smokiness that the charcoal gives. You don't want to use the factory made ones, you want to use like natural charcoal. And it really imparts a flavor onto the meat, especially when you close the lid a little bit. So pretty much for this, I end up using the fish wings. I did a whole snapper and I did a fillet. Obviously, grilled onions are the best, but now looking back, I would have done this towards the end and kept the heat for the fish. My recipe for the wings were pretty simple. It was, you know, soy sauce, Thai sauce, you know, like the ones that they use for spring rolls, ginger, garlic, salt and pepper, and I had some chili flakes that I used to give it some spice. You get that nice char and all those nice flavors, and that Thai sauce really adds a nice like sweetness to it that kind of makes it light to eat. So there I go, just finishing them off. So the recipe for the fish is really simple. You're going to take a whole lemon for about 2 to 3 fish this size. A whole lemon, squeeze that into a Ziploc bag or a Tupperware, whatever you prefer, whatever can fully submerge it. Take cilantro or parsley and chop it finely. Mix it thoroughly. Take your olive oil and put it in there, and let your fish sit in there for a good hour or hour and a half, and it'll start looking like ceviche cooking a little bit. Now once you do that, it cooks and it tastes like some of the best fish you'll ever have, no joke. Now the fish I end up, the whole fish I end up dealing with later, but just look at the fillets. I don't have a video of us eating it, but I can say that this is my favorite way to do a fillet on the grill. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope everyone got to enjoy today's video.